Have you ever been looking at a building and noticed that there is something there, but you can't quite figure out what? Chances are you are observing a ghost sign. Ghost signs are faded ads that were once painted, most often on the side or back of the building to advertise that business, and were a precursor to the billboards of today. Ghost signs apply mostly to painted brick, while fading ads can be found on other materials such as stone, metal, and wood. The painted advertisements were popular from the 1880s through the 1950s. They were hand-painted by workers called wall dogs. Some wall dogs were known for their style and sought out by companies. Today, the signs provide a lens into the past, allowing us to know the products, services, and businesses that were important to the community. They may even date themselves with terms, phone numbers, and images. The ads survived since they were painted with lead paint, and the color survived the weather since the paint absorbed into the brick material and sometimes even outlived the businesses themselves. The painted signs were phased out in the 1950s with the development of new trends in advertising, like plastic signage, neon, as well as radio and television markets. But they were mostly replaced with the cheaper production of billboards, which still line our streets and buildings today. Many other ghost signs were lost to demolition of the buildings or by being painted over with a solid color. Amos Allman, one-time county reporter, built this Romanesque revival-style office building in 1891, known as the Allman Block Building. It was his, and then his son's, real estate abstract office, the first in the county. This ghost sign is on the back of the building and unfortunately currently contains some graffiti. Allman Brothers Abstract Company can be faintly observed along with an oval outline and other letters. 100 North Main Street has a long history of housing several well-known businesses in Crown Point. It started as the first location of Geison's Furniture Store and Undertaker, and remained as the furniture store after the funeral home building was built behind it. After 75 plus years, it then became Huber's Grocery Store for over 20 years, followed by Hub Bootery for another 20 years before that business moved off the square in 2018. A restaurant called Square Roots opened in 2019 after renovations to both the exterior and interior of the building. What does remain are two ghost signs on both the north and south facades of the building. The south facade is harder to see, but calls back to the undertaking business. The north facade is still readable with the word furniture quite clear. Although Geison's hasn't been downtown for 13 years, the long-standing history of this 153-year-old business remains where Shadell and Wendt Brothers Drugs existed for 100 years at this location on South Main Street, but started at 101 West Joliet Street in 1882 by W.A. Shadell, a pharmacist and optometrist. John Wendt and Walter Wendt joined after graduating Purdue Pharmacy School in 1917. After 117 years, Wendt Brothers was no longer part of the square when the business closed after the last Wendt retired in 1999. Although technically not a ghost sign since the word Wendt was painted, it still calls back to another business on the square. This business building on West Hack Court was built in 1918 as a family business that was in the family for over 70 years. Westfall's furnace and sheet metal works remained in the family until it closed. This faded ghost sign gives little hints to its past. However, a few letters, possibly starting with an A, are remaining. There also appears to be a faint outline of the western border of Illinois. Perhaps someday an older photograph will surface to reveal all of its secrets. On the west facade of the building at 113 West Joliet Street, one can see part of a faded ghost sign. This was the location of Weiss Hardware for over 40 years. The top of the advertisement, including BUL, is visible from street level. As the current owners were renovating the inside of the building next door at 115 West Joliet Street, the rest of the advertisement was discovered. The lowest portion of the advertisement for Bull Durham smoking tobacco, the standard of the world, can be viewed in the interior of that building. The middle third of the advertisement is hidden from view, between the interior ceiling and the roof. However, it is still intact. The interior portions of the advertisement are still quite vibrant in their coloring. This Italianate-style building was built in 1873 by W. Cheshire to host lectures, concerts, and plays. It was used as a community hall with an all-purpose room and a town hall of sorts. It also served as an old opera house and as a roller rink. The top floor once housed the telephone company. The second floor was a banquet hall and was the home to a lecture club that brought several speakers and plays here, including Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. In addition to many other businesses, this building was a Ben Franklin store from 1959 until 1986 and was an antique mall for over 30 years until it closed in 2018. The building is currently being renovated with future plans not public at this time. Due to renovations, the former ghost sign of the word Cheshire is now lost to time. Next time you find yourself in downtown Crown Point or another urbanized area, take an extra close look around and see what ghost signs you find. You may just discover a new product or business that we no longer have today, or be reminded of a place or person and wax nostalgic, or see a ghost of the city's past. Thank you.